Let's welcome back to the program, Common. Young man. Please. Have a seat. How are you?
How you doing, John?
I'm doing so well, but you, the ride that you were on right now, the performance that you and John did at the Oscars, just remarkable. It was such a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
How did it feel in the theater?
It was a wonderful feeling. It felt spiritual. It felt like we were able to, we wanted to represent Selma and that movement and the song Glory. We wanted to represent it on a high level, and we felt great about the way people responded.
They responded amazingly. This movie coming out on the 50th anniversary of Selma and all the occasions, does it bring you closer to those events of history? Do you feel more connected to it, more a part of it, spending time with guys like John Lewis and reenacting those types of things?
Yes, you know, I knew about the history, but being able to be an actor in it, and now with so much education on it, and getting to meet John Lewis and Ambassador Andrew Young and Diane Nash, and some names that were unknown, but we got to meet the people. It was just like, wow, we are connected to this movement. I feel like Selma the film is an extension of what they created during that time period, because now that film is educating like younger people on what happened, people that didn't know, and it's also raising the conversation like of where we are right now. And obviously all these situations happening in America is raising the conversation.
You mean that racism is over? Yeah, it's good that it's over.
Yeah. Is that what it is? That's what we call it.
You know, it just what it is. We just happen to catch the last one of it on an iPhone. That's all.
That's the last. That's the end of it. That was the last. The credits go right there.
I think what the young boys on the bus went, you know what? Racism is over, but let's just do the last one. You guys want to be last?
That was the last song. That was the last song for racism.
That was the last song for racism.
We hope so.
Yeah, no. It must be odd. What I've always find interesting is that there is the movement now to take the injuries and the bitterness of racism and return them to white people, the dominant culture, the majority culture. There's a real anger, a real vein of anger of like, hey man, I didn't have slaves, and you're like, no, that's, but they're not talking about that. They're talking about a power structure.
Yeah, well my thing is, now it's like, hey, we all know it's been some bad history in our country. We know that racism exists. I'm like saying, hey y'all, I'm extending a hand, and I'm hoping I think a lot of the generations in different cultures are saying, hey, we want to get past this. If we've been bullied, we've been beat down, but we don't want it anymore. And we're not extending a fist. We're not saying, hey, you did this, you did us wrong. It's more like, hey, I'm extending my hand in love. Let's forget about the past as much as we can, and let's move from where we are now. How can we help each other? Can you try to help us? Because we're going to help ourselves too. That's really where we are right now.
And I think that's exactly right. And I think the defensiveness from the majority culture is the part that I think all it would take in that instance is acknowledgement of that hand, of that injury, and to say, look, I may not feel necessarily a part of that, but I get it.
Yeah.
And that's the way to move forward.
But that's why I feel it's very important for us. Like me as a black man, I'm not sitting there like, hey, white people, y'all did us wrong. And I mean, we know that existed. I don't even have to keep bringing that up. It's like being in a relationship and continuing to bring up the person's issues. Now I'm saying, hey, I love you. Let's move past this. Come on, baby, let's get past this, you know?
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I said, I mean, not exactly, you know. I mean, but you do have your own style.
Own style, what's wrong?
I promise you wouldn't have this with me, please.
Where you going? Come here. Where you go?
No!
So you're saying America could be healed by, and tell me if I'm putting words in your mouth, maybe an incense candle, lower the lights, little Barry White music, and let's get it on.
Let's get it on, man.
Well, I appreciate that. And the movie, by the way, you go from Selma to trying to kill Liam Neeson.
Yes, it's a great transition, man. I must say,